Picture this. You're trekking through a frozen wasteland, the wind biting like icy fangs, when you stumble upon a creature entombed in permafrost for over 42,000 years. As scientists carefully thaw it, they make a discovery that shatters reality. Its blood still flows, dark and liquid, as if the beast could rise and gallop away. This isn't some sci-fi nightmare. It's a genuine unearthly find from Siberia's depths, a relic that could unlock the secrets of extinction, rewrite evolutionary history, and even pave the way for resurrecting the dead. But what if meddling with this frozen miracle awakens horrors from the Ice Age? Deep in the unforgiving wilds of Siberia, where temperatures plummet to bone-chilling lows and the landscape is a vast, white expanse of isolation, lies a geological marvel turned nightmare, the Batagaika crater. This enormous sinkhole, stretching over a kilometer in width and plunging nearly 100 meters into the earth, has earned its ominous nickname, the gateway to the underworld, from local Yakut people who tell legends of spirits emerging from its depths. Formed by the relentless thawing of permafrost due to accelerating climate change, the crater is like a scar on the planet, expanding yearly and exposing layers of frozen history that have slumbered undisturbed for tens of thousands of years. It was in the sweltering summer of 2018, ironically, amid the melting ice, that a team of paleontologists from the Northeastern Federal University in Yakutsk embarked on an expedition into this forbidding void. Armed with picks, brushes, and unyielding curiosity, they excavated through strata of permafrost that dated back to the last ice age, an era when massive glaciers reshaped the world and colossal creatures like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats ruled the frozen steppes. What they unearthed sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The perfectly preserved body of a young foal, a prehistoric horse from the long-extinct Lena breed. Carbon dating later pinpointed its age at an astonishing 42,000 years, placing it in a time when early humans were just beginning to migrate across continents, etching their primitive art into cave walls while battling the elements for survival. As the researchers carefully liberated the foal from its icy prison, the scene unfolded like a macabre tableau. The small creature, comparable in size to a modern pony, lay with its legs splayed in a pose suggesting a desperate, interrupted sprint. Its coat of reddish-brown fur shimmered under the pale Siberian sunlight, still soft to the touch while underlying muscles retained a taut, lifelike tension. The foal's head was arched back, its mouth slightly open to reveal tiny, immature teeth. This innocent being was only a few months old when tragedy struck. Yet, it was the eyes that truly unnerved the team. Wide open, dark pools with corneas so clear they reflected the observers' faces, as if the foal were merely asleep and could blink awake at any moment. Peering inside through precise incisions, the scientists found internal organs, liver, kidneys, even the heart, intact and unmarred by decay. The permafrost had functioned as a natural cryogenic vault, suspending the foal in a perpetual moment of time. But as they delved deeper, a palpable dread began to settle over the group. How could a relic from such ancient times appear so eerily vital, so disturbingly alive? The silence in the crater was broken only by the occasional groan of shifting ice, leaving the team to ponder if they had awakened something forbidden from the annals of history. This discovery wasn't merely a fossil, it was a portal to profound mysteries that could challenge our understanding of preservation, extinction, and the very essence of life itself. Transported to a high-tech laboratory far removed from the crater's foreboding shadows, the examination of the foal intensified under sterile lights and controlled, frigid air designed to mimic the Siberian chill. The team, their breaths visible in the cold, gently probed the creature's veins with needles, anticipating nothing more than brittle frozen remnants degraded by millennia. Instead, they withdrew something that defied all scientific expectations: liquid blood, thick and viscous, flowing freely as though the foal's heart had stopped mere hours before. Dr. Semyon Grigoriev, the lead researcher, recounted the moment with a quiver in his voice. It felt exactly like extracting blood from a living animal, dark, fluid, and pulsing with an otherworldly vitality. After 42,000 years entombed in sub-zero permafrost, this phenomenon shattered established laws of biology and decay. Blood should have crystallized, broken down into inert dust by the inexorable passage of time, yet here it was, collected in vials like an elixir from a bygone epoch. This foal hailed from the Lena horse lineage, ancient equines that roamed the vast Siberian steppes during the Pleistocene, evolving hardy traits to withstand brutal winters and scarce resources. These beasts shared the landscape with megafauna like mammoths, their bloodlines tracing back to the roots of equine evolution, only to vanish as climates warmed and human hunters proliferated. Hypotheses swirled among the scientists. Could unknown chemical compounds in the soil have acted as a natural antifreeze, preventing solidification? Or perhaps microbial communities within the permafrost had formed a symbiotic barrier against decomposition, preserving the blood in a state of eerie suspension. Microscopic analysis revealed intact cellular structures, red blood cells carrying oxygen, white cells poised for defense, and even traces of plasma that stirred faintly when cultured, hinting at a latent viability that sent hearts racing. As the lab work progressed, suspense built like a gathering storm. The foal's hooves, still encrusted with ancient mud, showed scratches from a frantic scramble. Its tail was frozen in a defensive curl, as if fending off an invisible threat. The stomach contained undigested remnants of milk and grass, a poignant snapshot of its last moments in a world long erased. Those haunting eyes, with pupils dilated in perpetual surprise, seemed to track the researchers' movements, sparking uneasy whispers about ancient spirits trapped within the ice. One team member hesitated, her glove hovering over the flank, overwhelmed by a chill unrelated to the temperature. Was this miraculous preservation a benevolent gift from nature, or a sinister warning of forces beyond human comprehension? The atmosphere in the lab transformed into a pressure cooker of awe and horror, where every revelation edged closer to blurring the boundaries between science and the supernatural, leaving everyone to wonder if they were tampering with something profoundly dangerous. When news of the Batagaika foal exploded onto the global stage, it ignited a frenzy of awe, debate, and speculation that rippled through scientific communities from Harvard to Tokyo. Paleontologists universally acclaimed it as the most impeccably preserved Ice Age specimen ever recovered, eclipsing even the renowned woolly mammoth calves previously unearthed in the region. The liquid blood emerged as the ultimate bombshell, prompting heated discussions. How could it have remained in a fluid state without artificial cryoprotectants used in modern labs? Leading experts proposed that the foal likely drowned in an oxygen-deprived muddy pool during a sudden cataclysm, such as a flash flood or collapsing crevasse, where the anaerobic environment halted bacterial breakdown, while plummeting temperatures sealed the body in ice before decay could take hold. Others speculated on the presence of natural antifreeze proteins, similar to those evolved in Arctic fish to prevent cellular freezing. But the idea of such adaptations in a terrestrial mammal was groundbreaking and controversial. Geological peculiarities of the Batagaika crater added layers of intrigue. Frequent methane gas releases and subtle seismic activity could create isolated pockets of thermal stability, defying the entropy that typically ravages organic matter. Dr. Grigoriev's team pushed boundaries by attempting to culture cells from the blood, observing under high-powered microscopes as they exhibited faint movements, suggesting a potential for revival that accelerated pulses and fueled dreams of de-extinction. Yet, lingering mysteries cast long shadows. Could this blood harbor dormant pathogens from the Ice Age? Ancient viruses or bacteria now thawing into our modern, warming world and posing unprecedented health risks? The emotional resonance deepened the narrative's pull. This wasn't a mighty stallion, but a fragile foal, likely torn from its herd in a moment of chaos, a predator's ambush, a raging blizzard, or an unstable ice shelf giving way. Its diminutive size, just 98 centimeters long, evoked a profound sense of sorrow, a stark reminder of innocence extinguished by the merciless forces of the Pleistocene. Fur samples revealed traces of pollen from now extinct plants, conjuring vivid mental images of vast flower-dotted meadows under endless starlit skies, where a mother horse nuzzled her young in fleeting moments of peace. Subtle bone fractures indicated a violent demise, yet the absence of external wounds suggested nature had enveloped it gently in mud, preserving it as a time capsule. Genome sequencing uncovered specialized adaptations for extreme cold, such as enhanced blood vessel thickness that might explain the liquid blood's endurance. Intertwined with contemporary climate change, The crater's ongoing thaw not only unveils such treasures but also liberates potent greenhouse gases, perpetuating a vicious cycle that mirrors the environmental shifts ending the Ice Age. This discovery transformed into a high-stakes race against time. As permafrost melts faster, more relics might surface, but at the potential cost of ecological catastrophe. The story escalated from scientific curiosity to an ethical drama, leaving the world breathless on the precipice of revelation and peril. Delving even deeper into the Foal's uncanny perfection, the suspense ratcheted up with every microscopic revelation in the lab. Advanced CT scans of the brain disclosed neural pathways preserved in exquisite detail, as if the Foal's final thoughts of terror and flight were etched eternally into its gray matter. The lungs, captured in a state of slight inflation, painted a vivid, tragic picture of a desperate last gasp before submersion in the muddy depths. Emotions ran high among the research team. One paleontologist, herself a mother, confessed to breaking down in tears, her own child's vulnerability reflected in this ancient innocent's frozen form. The complete lack of insect infestation or bacterial decay pointed to the permafrost's sterilizing effect, creating a vacuum where time itself seemed to halt, defying the natural progression toward entropy. This led to a flurry of wild yet plausible speculations. Perhaps subtle geothermal activity beneath the crater generated microenvironments of unusual stability, where temperature fluctuations were minimized and preservation enhanced. Further blood analysis uncovered no evidence of ice crystal formation, presenting a baffling paradox. How had it avoided freezing solid? Theories lean toward elevated levels of glycerol or other organic cryoprotectants, evolutionary holdovers from the Lena horse's adaptation to glacial extremes. International conferences erupted in animated debates, with some experts linking the find to recent revivals of zombie viruses from Siberian permafrost, stoking fears that the Foal's blood might unwittingly release long-dormant threats capable of jumping to humans in our interconnected world. Journalists descended on Yakutsk like a swarm, digging for exclusive angles and hidden implications, while biotech corporations extended lucrative offers, their proposals dripping with unchecked ambition. Dr. Grigoriev, however, proceeded with caution, his instincts warning of the profound risks in unlocking nature's vault. The narrative evolved into a full-fledged thriller, with the Foal emerging as a poignant symbol of fragile, ephemeral beauty amid the harshness of existence. Questions accumulated like layers of drifting snow. If blood could persist in liquid form for millennia, what other enigmas might the ice conceal? Forgotten knowledge that could revolutionize medicine or perils we are ill-equipped to face? Global audiences became captivated, hanging on every update as the story wove together threads of horror, scientific wonder, and a haunting cautionary tale whispered from the frozen abyss. The Foal's poignant story intertwined threads of personal tragedy and scientific marvel, its preserved form evoking a silent, echoing scream across the vast chasm of time. Detailed analysis of the fur disclosed embedded pollen grains from plant species extinct for thousands of years, summoning evocative visions of sprawling meadows blanketed in wildflowers, now forever buried under layers of ice where this young life once frolicked in brief, carefree moments before doom descended. Muscle tissue, astonishingly elastic even after thawing, suggested the possibility of residual vitality, as if the Foal could convulse and spring to life with the right stimulus. The kidneys, frozen mid-filtration, stood as a testament to nature's meticulous engineering, preserving bodily functions in mid-stride, yet an undercurrent of dread persisted. The Bottigiega crater, expanding at an alarming rate due to global warming, threatened to either entomb more secrets in collapsing Earth or release them in uncontrollable bursts, turning archaeological triumph into a precarious gamble. The research team's resolve was tested, their nights plagued by restless dreams of the Foal's pleading gaze, forging an emotional bridge across eons that stirred deep empathy and a shared sense of universal loss. Emerging documentaries captured this human element, with experts sharing personal anecdotes of how the discovery evoked reflections on mortality and the fragility of life. Blood tests further unveiled specialized hemoglobin structures, optimized for low oxygen environments, providing clues to how megafauna like the Lena horse endured the Ice Age's punishing conditions. Intriguing theories propose symbiotic bacteria within the tissues acting as natural preservatives, reimagining the permafrost not as inert soil but as a dynamic, living archive of biological history. Unresolved queries amplified the thriller's intensity. Why was there no apparent cellular damage from prolonged freezing? And could similar mechanisms exist in other undiscovered specimens? Global viewers were enthralled, the narrative blending horror with hopeful intrigue, each new fact serving as a tantalizing cliffhanger that hinted at even profounder unknowns lurking in the ices. Embraced suspense adhered like persistent frost as dissections revealed the foal's heart in stunning detail, its chambers clearly defined and blood vessels weaving like intricate threads of destiny through the preserved tissue. Liver samples, rich in enzymes, painted a picture of a diet heavy in nutrient-dense forage, evoking heartwarming vignettes of a protective herd grazing under the aurora-lit skies of the Pleistocene. Horror elements flickered to life with realizations of the crater's inherent volatility. Frequent earthquakes and gas eruptions could either safeguard or shatter these fragile finds, transforming the pursuit of knowledge into a high-stakes race against geological collapse. DNA comparisons to contemporary horses highlighted significant genetic drifts, sparking debates on potential hybrid vigor or the loss of ancient traits that could inform modern breeding. The liquid blood's miraculous preservation even prompted fringe discussions on quantum effects in extreme cold, where molecular behaviors might suspend decay in ways that straddle science and speculation. Emotionally, the foal transcended its status as a specimen, becoming a powerful beacon for conservation efforts, its tale thrilling audiences with stories of resilience in the face of extinction's unrelenting shadow. Cloning initiatives gained momentum, with embryonic cells derived from the blood beginning to divide in controlled lab settings, igniting vivid dreams of resurrected herds thundering across revived tundras. However, ethical precipices loomed large. Could humanity truly control the consequences of such revival? Or would it invite unforeseen chaos into fragile ecosystems? History itself was reframed, acknowledging the role of early humans in accelerating past extinctions through hunting and habitat disruption, adding a poignant reflective twist to the narrative. The overall saga pulsed with elevated stakes, evolving into a gripping thriller where a single discovery held the power to reshape the very fabric of life on Earth. As the story built toward its inevitable conclusion, the foal's eyes remained the unwavering focal point, their preserved clarity evoking a sense of eternal watchfulness, as if the creature were silently judging humanity's intrusion from across the ages. Examinations of organs like the spleen uncovered immune responses frozen in mid-action, offering mysteries of ancient health and disease resistance that tugged relentlessly at the heartstrings. Suspense escalated dramatically with the inextricable ties to climate change. The accelerating melt of permafrost not only revealed these treasures but also endangered them, creating a ticking clock in what felt like nature's own suspense thriller, where every degree of warming heightened the drama. Studies on the blood's viscosity suggested the presence of natural cryogens, prompting questions about whether this represented evolution's ultimate adaptation or a rare, anomalous fluke preserved by chance. The global thrill stemmed from the sheer unknown, with each factual revelation acting as a masterful cliffhanger that left audiences craving more. In the narrative's crescendo, the promise of de-extinction clashed head-on with inherent perils. The blood's pristine state unlocked pathways to species revival, but at the risk of unleashing genetic chaos or ecological disruptions. History bent and reshaped under this new illumination, providing emotional depth and profound insights into the interconnectedness of past and present. Reaching the tale's climactic surge, the ramifications of the Batagaika foal's discovery exploded into a panorama of boundless possibility and lurking peril. Beyond the audacious realm of cloning, where Russian and South Korean experts collaborate on prototypes inserting ancient DNA into surrogate embryos, the liquid blood holds tantalizing potential for medical revolutions. Advances in cryopreservation that could enable human organs to be frozen and revived for transplants, or even facilitate long-duration space voyages by suspending biological aging. Imagine hearts thawed after decades, echoing the foal's timeless pause, or therapies derived from its resilient cells that combat modern diseases like cancer or neurodegeneration. Yet, The drama intensified with nightmarish visions of de-extinction gone awry, hybrid creatures clashing with contemporary ecosystems, introducing genetic anomalies or resurrecting plagues that could ravage wildlife and human populations alike. "We're standing on the cusp of playing God," one lead geneticist confided, his eyes alight with a mix of fervor and trepidation, encapsulating the high wire tension of innovation versus hubris. The Foal story rewrote paleontological history, illuminating ancient migration patterns and challenging established timelines of human-animal interactions during the Ice Age. Tension built to a fever pitch, leaving us to ponder, are we positioned as saviors, restoring lost biodiversity, or as unwitting intruders, disturbing the natural order? What if this blood unlocks the secrets to human longevity, allowing us to freeze the aging process itself? As laboratories worldwide hum with activity, the world watches in a cinematic standoff, caught between the allure of miracles and the ancient grip of the ice. But as this frozen sentinel's tale draws to a close, reflect on its liquid blood as a bridge to worlds long vanished. Remember, in the permafrost's shadowy embrace, some secrets whisper of dangers yet untold. Maybe certain creatures were never meant to thaw, or perhaps they're patiently waiting to awaken. What do you think awaits next in the ice's depths? A triumphant rebirth, or a horror from the abyss?